Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a beautiful day today and we're going to discuss what we will be doing in our gardens in June. Now we're coming into the summer months. There are going to be those little jobs that we need to continue to do throughout the summer. Starting with pruning back a few things such as the wisteria, which will encourage growth for flowers next year, and trimming back hedging such as privet, although keep an eye out for those nesting birds. We can start tying in the stems of the climbing or rambling roses as they're going to start to want to take over a little bit, so we want to keep them under some sort of control. Also tying in the stems of the cane fruits as well can give them a bit of support. Other plants that will need some support are our taller plants such as delphiniums, potentially foxgloves, hollyhocks. They're going to start coming in now and may potentially need that support as well. Some of our summer bulbs will start to appear, such as gladioli and lilies as well, which are also quite tall. So just mind where they are, make sure they're protected from any strong winds and potentially stake them and give them support as well. Another plant which will need some support as it grows will be the dahlias. Now mine are in my polytunnel and I actually use the sheep wire to support the base of the stems in there as well. I just sort of curl that over the beds, usually before they get too tall, just so that as they're growing the base of the stems is supported, particularly for the dinner plate dahlias, which can be prone to kind of bending and buckling under the weight of the size of the flower heads, so supporting your dahlias as well. You can start to plant out things such as sweetcorn, courgettes, pumpkins and beans. Give the courgettes and beans maybe a bit of a mulch to keep the moisture in the soil underneath them, as they are particularly thirsty plants. Now it is getting warmer, we can start planting some more of the tropical plants that you might see, such as bananas and cannas. These will love being in your polytunnel as it will be very hot in there, but do be careful not to scorch the leaves. Same with your plants on your windowsills as well. You want to be careful with leaves being scorched if there is a particularly sunny day. We can start planting out some summer bedding plants such as cosmos, marigolds, daisies, lobelia and poppies. They will create huge amounts of colour in your garden, as well as attracting many pollinators and looking beautiful, of course. Don't forget to deadhead some of these plants as you go, which will encourage more flowers to come. Cosmos in particular love being cut back so that they will produce more and more flowers for you. You can start taking cuttings from carnations, as well as herbs such as marjoram and sage, and even hydrangeas are good to take cuttings from in June as well, giving them plenty of time to root before the winter. Some herbs that can be sown in June include coriander, parsley and basil. They will start to come up lovely now that it is lovely and warm. Now that the risk of frost has definitely passed in Ireland, you can definitely leave your polytunnels and your greenhouses open if it is far too warm to close them in the evenings. This will help to generate more ventilation and to prevent things from getting too hot in there. You could potentially also add a bit of shading so that the plants in there don't overheat or get scorched. Now that the risk of frost has definitely passed, you can start planting out those tender crops such as tomatoes, beans, pumpkins, sweet corn and courgettes. They will love being outside and take full advantage of this great weather we're having. A few tips regarding tomatoes. They're going to start growing particularly fast in June with the great weather and the heat. Continue to support them by wrapping them around a piece of twine that you maybe have secured up above them. You will want to pinch out the side shoots that will come between the branches of your tomato plants. Just gently remove that. You can use a pair of scissors or very carefully pinch it out using your nail to remove those side shoots, as it will use the energy to grow those rather than to focus on fruit production. Also, when you're watering them, try not to get water onto the leaves. Tomato plants don't really like that. Getting water on their leaves, so you can always remove a couple of the lower branches and the lower leaves from the actual main stem, making it easier for you to water around the base of them, but yeah, try and avoid getting water onto their leaves. Try to keep on top of your weeding. I know we've probably done quite a lot of it already, but we do need to continue to keep on top of those weeds, particularly as things are starting to grow and spread, as well as they might become a little bit more hidden underneath those plants. But keep trying to weed throughout your beds and throughout your garden, just to keep on top of that. June is a good time to mix your compost as well, whether you have it in a bay like I do, or you have it in a particular bin or a tumbler. It's a good time to start actually aerating that compost to help it decompose. It'll mean that your compost will be ready much sooner if you do aerate it. There are other techniques that I'm hoping to try maybe next year when I have another project coming along. But for now, I'm unfortunately having to do the heavy lifting of rotating all of my compost from one bay into another to help that aeration and to help that decomposition. As it is obviously getting hotter, then the further into the summer we go, we are going to want to do far more watering than we have done so far. So keeping on top of that and making sure that your soils, particularly in pots, do not dry out. However, do keep an eye on not overwatering things, as that can also be detrimental to plants. So be vigilant with your watering. Feeding your plants is also quite important at this time of year as well, especially ones that are just going out, such as your tomatoes and your courgettes, your pumpkins and chili plants as well, will also benefit from having a feed at this time of year to encourage that fruit production. You can also feed your lawns as well to encourage more growth. Now I know the weeds and the grass and the lawns have been going mad with this great weather, but giving your grass a feed will certainly make it look more lush and healthy looking, and definitely make it look neater once you've given it a mow as well. Moving on to our houseplants, we're going to continue as we have been in May, giving them a regular feed and a regular water, especially as the months are getting hotter and hotter. Do be careful with your watering, do the finger test like I suggested in my last video for May, and just mind any houseplants that are on windowsills or in south-facing windows. They could potentially get scorched. So you might want to move them just to be a little bit further into a room so they're not getting full sun all day, as they won't particularly like that. Keep an eye out for any pests throughout your garden or throughout your houseplants. If you find signs of aphids, which are usually quite obvious clusters of small green flies on the stems and leaves of some of your plants, usually the leaf will be a little bit sticky as well usually. You can remove them with a soapy water spray or by hosing that plant down. Again, depending on what type of plant it is, it might not like that. So just be vigilant with where the aphids are and what plants they are on. Things like whitefly and spider mite can be controlled through biological means. If you see ladybirds in your garden, that is a great biological advocate for you in your garden to help you control certain pests that you would prefer not to have, particularly aphids. Other biological controls can be certain types of wasps. Spiders are great. So anything that you might consider a bit of a pest, such as a wasp or a spider, are actually beneficial for you in your garden, as they will be going after the things that will genuinely do your plants harm. So don't be worried if you see these bugs in your garden. They are doing a great job for you. Usually the vine weevils are going to be seen on the leaves, so you can take them off by hand. They're usually pretty easy to get rid of, as they can be seen. And for dahlias in particular, there's always issues with earwigs getting into the flower heads and starting to eat the petals. There is a technique I've seen online where you use a terracotta pot upside down with straw in it to encourage them to go into that rather than your flowers. But I will be giving that a go, so maybe I'll report back on how that goes. Not all pests are creepy crawlies and bugs. You will also want to potentially protect your fruiting bushes, such as your currants and your gooseberries, from things like birds, particularly pigeons and blackbirds, from eating your fruit crop. So usually I would just cover my currants in a net they're all along one particular side of a fence for me, so I attach that net to the fence and then cover my bushes that way. Fortunately, they're all grown in a line together, which makes it very easy. But if you can use a bit of netting or something to put the birds off going near your bushes, now is a good time to get ahead and cover them to ensure that you have a good crop for yourself. When it comes to beekeeping, June is more or less the same as what you were doing in May. So keeping an eye out for queens, signs of swarming, making sure that the queen is laying eggs, and keeping an eye out for queen cups turning into queen cells to potentially perform artificial swarms. Obviously keeping an eye out that swarms won't be happening or will be happening near you if you want to catch a swarm, but won't be happening to your own hives, or if they are, that you are prepared for them. Making sure you have spare nukes around to either catch those swarms that might be coming, or to perform artificial swarms in your own hives, or to have the space to move queens into. The good weather has meant that swarming has happened a little bit earlier in the season, I think, than usual. So hopefully you've already caught a couple of swarms, or you have prevented a couple of swarms from your own colonies happening. And hopefully they won't be doing it again later if the weather stays really good. But just being vigilant on looking out for the signs of swarming is the best thing you can be doing at this time of year. Continuing to add additional supers to very busy hives as well will encourage the honey crop to continue long into the summer. It looks like it's going to be a great year, so fingers crossed we will have a fabulous honey crop this year. Making sure you have those supers prepared, ready to go, and that you take enough down with you for those hives as well. Sometimes you might need to add a couple of extra ones if they're particularly full or very busy, and potentially if they haven't swarmed yet, there is a busy colony there as well. So keeping an eye out for swarming, checking your honey crops and providing more supers, and checking that your queens are there as well. New queens will be starting to come out as well, so if you have new queens in hives, getting them marked so that you can see them every time you go in to check is a very good practice. For this year, I think the marking colour is blue, but yeah, making sure that you keep an eye out for new queens emerging and going out to get mated and coming back and laying eggs. That will be happening throughout this month as well, so it's all very exciting movements in the colonies this month in June. One thing we can't forget to start doing in our gardens in June is to start harvesting. This month we should really start to be getting some varieties of lettuce ready. Strawberries will be coming through. Rhubarb should be ready already. So we can really start to reap the benefits of our busy gardens by enjoying those harvests. Your first crop of potatoes that should be ready to pull up in June as well. Other things such as asparagus, radishes and peas will start to be ready this month as well. So enjoy the fruits of your labour, as it were. Getting those harvests is such a rewarding part of gardening and should thoroughly be enjoyed. Last thing to do in your garden in June is to enjoy it. It's starting to become such a lovely time of year when everything is coming up, everything is starting to fill out, and you know, you're starting to see those flowers develop or those fruit develop and become such wonderful things to see in your garden. So don't let it be all hard work. Start to enjoy it as well and just sit and take it all in. That's all for this month, I think. We should have covered most things. Let me know what you're growing in your garden, what you're harvesting, what you're getting up to. If you've got any new projects going on in your garden, I would love to hear about them. And yeah, until next month, thanks very much. We'll see you next time.